financial year 2013-2014 budget is just a day away. Ugandans, financial experts and civil society organizations are anxiously waiting for a better budget document this time around. This anxiety and expectations stem from what was promised last time and what actually came out of those promises. Ugandans, financial experts and civil society organizations are anxiously waiting for a better budget document this time around. This anxiety and expectations stem from what was promised last time and what actually came out of those promises.
Things, I would say, were met, but also many more remain to be met. Under the education, agriculture, health, works, a number of things have not been made.
A key issue many are looking forward to seeing is how this year's budget will address gaps in the agriculture sector that employs over 70% of Ugandans.
Of course, there has been a consistent reduction in the allocation towards this particular sector. We think that this should be rethought. We are glad that government is relaunching the NADS program. However, we need to note that NADS simply focuses on advisory services and providing inputs. And I think in this particular budget, they are going to allocate more funds towards provision of inputs. But we think that more funds should be allocated to the sector in general.
Agriculture sector enthusiasts are also praying for better structured interventions, especially in the area of financing. This comes on the heels of a dismal performance posted by the 30 billion shillings fund to the sector announced in last year's budget. Experts faulted its structure.
How is it being catered for? Is it really giving these banks money that farmers will go there and borrow? What type of farmers borrow and for what purpose? The smallholder farmers, who are majority in this country, are not catered for by that kind of financing given to banks. We should have one, a special agricultural bank that should be deliberately really established by the state. If you leave it to the private sector has never seen it.
And according to the recently launched Vision 2040, government envisions Uganda as a middle-income economy by the year 2050. Manufacturing will be crucial in attaining this. Relatedly, several components of the vision are tagged onto the private sector, explaining why government rolled out a public-private sector partnership strategy. This makes the wishes of the private sector in this year's budget paramount.
We have looked at the budget framework paper, and government has, for instance, put excise duty on fuel. Now, as you know, most Ugandans do not rely on electricity. However, the majority of us move. We use public means of transport. We need some kind of fuel in our enterprises. We hope that, we are simply hoping that this tax will not hurt businesses.
As regards tax, those in formal employment and import and export trade feel that they are shouldering the tax burden for many untaxed segments. Consensus is those capable in the largely untaxed areas like agriculture should be brought on board.
Because as long as they have not increased the tax base, there is still a very big problem that each taxpayer who has been paying already is reaching what we call a breaking level. And that will be very dangerous to increase more tax burden on these taxpayers. Otherwise, they will be fatigued, and you can see them relocating to other countries. I can give you an example. If somebody has 1,000 herds of cattle, his operating capital is over 1 billion. But he is not paying any taxes.
And meanwhile, as government attempts to raise revenues to finance the 2013-2014 budget in the face of donor aid cuts, it has proposed tax adjustments to different sectors, notably international calls levy and mobile money transaction levy and fuel. Besides the fear that this will eat more into people's disposable incomes, and the way this tax is used remains an issue of concern.
What we'd like to see is fairness across the board, that you don't have people so burdened and at the end of the day the money is spent, misused and spent inappropriately, and then people are not happy about services. So how do you link with the taxes collected, the revenues and the services delivered?
Another area of concern is health. While government has made significant progress, challenges related to skill, capacity gaps, equipment and infrastructure, and the availability of medicines have undermined effective delivery of health care to all Ugandans. The percentage budget allocation for the health sector also reduced, despite growing criticism that it continues to fall short of 15% target.
Very little money has been put on this. We need to put much more. They need to get to organize the civil society organizations and give them this money to do the work that is required. And these civil society organizations include the media, include health advocates.
Evidently, the transport infrastructure is another area which calls for more funding, notably on improvement of quality and efficiency of the infrastructure, introduce alternative modes of transport of goods and services across the borders. Players think that the more financing of major roads and railways should help curb the problem.
The Uganda National Roads Authority will be allocated a total of 2 trillion shillings in the next financial year. The project we are talking about, for instance, this new Nile Bridge is indeed prioritized. It will get its due share. There will be new projects which will come in place, projects such as the Fort Portal Kamwenge Road, with the assistance of World Bank and the government of Uganda. Works will commence next financial year.
Now, as Uganda awaits for budget speech tomorrow, attention will be paid to what it will say about the unfulfilled promises, but most importantly, on how it will answer the prayers of the private sector, an area banked on to drive the country's ambitious Vision 2040. Malcolm Sime, NTV.